So this box here is it's basically it's buncher specific, and it's got kind of an eye towards daily maintenance. So I've got my my hand grease guns, venerable Milwaukee grease gun, grease, Zerks, then I've got a few pre-made hoses, hydraulic test kit, bunch of stuff. So what I wanted to show here, I think to start with, was I am packing a couple tap and die sets. One I've had for a long time, this SAE. I've had that for probably 40 years. It's a Harbor Freight or Pittsburgh. Then I just picked up a metric in the same Harbor Freight, and they've worked out really well. So let me break them out here. Yeah, so I just pulled this SAE out, and the thing I like about it, and like I said, I've had this a long time, but what I really liked about it, one, it fit underneath the grease gun box, but it's really low profile, and and you can see here the metric is basically the same box, different color. So it's really skinny, and it fit in well, and it's pretty handy to have. So I'm going to lay this down, and we'll take a look inside. This came with kind of a cheesy blow molded case, and it held up well for a long time, but now that I've discovered this Kaizen foam stuff, I'm kind of crazy on it. And so I actually, the Kaizen foam that I got, I think it's 50 millimeters, so it's like two and a quarter inches or something like that. And so what I did, I cut a sheet to match, and then cut it in half, and that worked perfectly. It gave me two pieces, one for each one, and it's just slick stuff, I mean, it holds it well. It's resistant to oil, and the stuff is solid. It's kind of, you cut it out smaller than slightly smaller than the material or tool you're trying to hold, and it holds it snugly. And a tap and die set is just a handy thing to have on the job. I use them mostly for chasing threads, and that's a real lifesaver, as we all have experienced, I'm sure. But I wanted to point out again, on this, this is this Lisle tap socket, and so 9/16 is this tap, and you can see it fits in it. It's kind of hard to get a feel for it on video, I think, but that O-ring keeper in there, holds it snug, and it drops down into the square drive perfectly. And then you've got a 3/8 drive. You can use a 3/8 drive breaker bar or ratchet, extension if you need it. So that's just I'm really happy with these. This is a good solution. There are a lot of different kind of tools out there for driving taps, and I'm happy to have this, because an actual tap wrench is great if you're like in a fab shop, but as we all know, if you've got like a boogered hole on a machine or a component or something like that, this can be really frustrating to try to chase it out with. But whereas that, with an extension, you can go most anywhere. So I recommend these a lot. Yeah, so anyhow, SAE, and these go up, both these set, well, this is SAE, so this goes to 1 inch. It's coarse and fine, tap and die, and the metric's the same way. It goes to, M24, whatever it is, and coarse and fine, tap and die. So yeah, good solution. Yeah, so next thing is I'm going to pull this box out here. Another one of these restaurant bus hubs, which is a super handy tool. Yeah, and down underneath here, I've got my various O-ring kits. They ride flat, and the reason that I've got them set up there, a couple things. One is, I haven't found a box that will keep O-rings from migrating, the different sizes. I don't know if anybody else has a solution to that. But so much as I love these little Plano boxes, they will migrate. The smaller size O-rings will migrate, and then you've got kind of a mess on your hands. So I run these flat, and that avoids the problem. So ORS, O-ring boss, split flange in the back. The thing I wanted to point out to you guys here was this is something I just got recently, and this is a Splice kit for O-rings, and this one here is a metric sizes. And it was pretty cheap. It's got, I think, 9 different diameters. Sorry about that. It's 8. And it gave it's 1 meter of each, so 3 feet. And it has a small splicing gauge, so it helps you determine the correct diameter. And then it also gives you a way to cut it squarely. And that's kind of a key thing when you're doing splices. So you can see here it's got these holes. It's got an opening here for a razor blade. So you put the tube through there, and then you can cut it in the die basically, and that ensures a square butt cut. And then for the splicing, it's just a variation on super glue. It's kind of like the highest grade super glue, and you just press them together with you put it on one side, press it together, just a little bit of glue, press it together, hold it for a couple seconds, and you've got a brand new O-ring. And so I haven't had to use it yet, but I've got it when I do need it. So that'll be kind of interesting to try it out the first time. Yeah, so anyhow, these all ride flat, and got my bag of diapers here, shrink wrap bag. Yeah, and so that does it for this box. And another thing I try to do, and I think we all do, I mean, the roads we drive on, we have to, but the stuff has to be kind of well secured, and so it doesn't shift around, it doesn't get damaged, it stays clean, stays organized. And so all this stuff, it's kind of like, as I said earlier, it's a work in progress, trying to fit everything into a puzzle. So it's organized, easy to get at. I know where it is, know where, what I have to check to keep in stock. So I always have the stuff I need when I'm on the job. So, yeah, so another one down. Yeah, so let's see what we got in here. Yeah, last box. Not a whole lot new in here, but there are a couple things. I just wanted to point this out. This is a new thing to me, and so this box here it's got a couple holes that lead into the crane control compartment, and I'm actually going to rewire that. But right now, it does have an opening there. So, and the other thing is that I keep my chains in here in these bags from Harbor Freight. So the tire chains, and I try to keep them dry, but things get into this box and they're moist. And so this was something the guys at the shop found. We had a truck that I don't know what happened to it, but the long and short of it was the cab got really wet inside. And so these things are dehumidifiers, and they're kind of cool, really. So I got one on another one of these hangers from Harbor Freight. And so I think it's calcium chloride beads there, and it pulls water in, and you can see it drains it down there. And So this was pretty dry, but it was kind of like it was humid. It wasn't like it was leaking into it. I mean, because this maintainer body stays dry, but it was humid. So I got one from one of the guys there in the shop and hung it up here. And as you can see, it's sucking up quite a lot of water. So I would recommend that. I don't know where you get them, Amazon or something like that. And these bags here work really well for my tire chains. I've got chains to go all the way around, a set of singles for the front, and then a set of 3 rails for the rears, and just keep them in the bag. I've got a torque tool, and actually have a spider for the rear and the front, to a springy spider to keep tension on them. So it's almost time for them to go ride in the shop for the summer. But, so I think that does it for this update. So hope you enjoyed it, and any comments or questions, I'd be happy to try to help you out if you want. So, thanks for watching.